Alright, in this video we will do some searching, okay? We're going to go to the library. Here's the link to the library, and since we're off campus here, we're going to have to sign in. So, do you have a library account by chance? You don't? You need to go to the library website and create an account. I'm not sure exactly how you do it, but you'll wind up signing in with your OKey username and credentials, and you'll be able to sign in at when you're off campus from an off-campus domain. So anyway, I'll go ahead and do that. So I've already got an account with the library. So click on this. It'll ask me to do it one more time. So I've got it on my browser. Okay, so now we're in the library. May have to do it one more time, but once you have an account, you'll be able to look at this and you can say, okay, how many things do I have checked out? Huh? So right now I've got like a bunch of, I don't know, maybe 20 or 25 books checked out. That one's been overdue for about 10 years. It's lost. Sorry. I've tried to help them, but I've lost books before, and I pay for them. You know, I've had to do that. And go on Amazon and buy it and give it to them, take it off.
What is it?
It's Economic Survey of Stillwater by William Lester Scott, done a long time ago, and it's a one of a kind thing, and I don't know what happened to it, but there's not a price where I'd pay for it. Anyway, so we want to look for let's first say we want to look for articles in some sort of conservation journal. So we want a peer-reviewed academic journal to find articles on something specific. So let's do that. We'll go to databases, and I always like to go to that link that says popular databases. And some of these are better than others. Like if you have a Google Scholar account, I have a Google Scholar account, but that really won't work real well for you unless you have an account with Google Scholar. I don't think. You might be able to do it, but it's pretty good. But JSTOR is really good if you do history and historical geography and humanities, English, that kind of thing. Those are like old journals that really aren't on the shelf anymore. But the one that I've been having students use for finding the Economist magazine is ABI Inform, and that's like a division of ProQuest or something. But anyway, it's good for agriculture and conservation types of articles. So here I got to sign in again. This is my off-campus login, so we'll hit that. Can you log in off campus? No?
What do you mean?
Do you have an off-campus login thing that you go through? Are you in your own account?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right. So let's look for, let's first try looking for publications in a specific journal, okay? So publication title is what that is. So let's say, what's a topic? How about fisheries? Let's look at, and you can just type in like fishery science or something like that. You just type in fisheries, and it'll provide you with a list of autocomplete possibilities there. So let's look at fisheries, whatever that, I guess that's maybe a journal name. Let's look at fisheries. And let's look at, I don't know, let's create a sort of a test here. We'll just say a word anywhere within the journal, within any article, and we'll say, how about, what's your favorite fish? Well, mine's a largemouth bass. Okay, so anyway, zip. Oh, wait. One thing we want to do, I always probably want to do in this case, so we fisheries. And that'll be in the publication title, and largemouth bass. Largemouth bass. There we go, largemouth bass. And then what we want to do is always hit full text. And since probably you're looking for peer-reviewed journals for your papers, hit peer-reviewed journals. And then if you want something that's fairly recent, you probably want to like establish a parameter for the publication date below that. So hit like after this date, and then you'll put in like, let's say like December 31st, after December 31st, 2011. Okay, so 2010. All right, so we want something in the anywhere from January 1st, 2011 up to now. And if you knew an author or something like that, I don't need to bother with that. But what you're looking for here is you want to select scholarly journals. See that? Most of the time, scholarly journals is all you want, and that'll cut down tremendously. And then the document type, you're going to want an article. Okay, so article. Sometimes you might want like a book chapter, or maybe a commentary, something like that. I mean, you can kind of go through here. I like to read book reviews a lot, so that's probably like under review. So review, there you go. All right, and most of the stuff you're going to be reading is in English, but if you want to cut it down a little bit, say English, and you can even do like more page options if you hit that result page options. I like to do like 100. I just max it out instead of doing only 20 and getting pages to turn. And you can sort it by relevance, or you can sort it by date, like the oldest first or the most recent first. Let's do most recent first. And then exclude duplicate documents. Sometimes things will be listed twice, and you don't want that. Okay, so here we go. Search. And voila, here we go. Since January 1st, 2011, with all of those parameters, only got 2. That's pretty amazing. I guess people aren't interested in largemouth bass anymore. So this is they're only in that one journal, and the journal is called what? Reviews in Fish Biology and Fisheries. So that's the journal article. See that? So there are 2 articles from September 2019, and they're both the same issue, issue 3, volume 29. I didn't think it was that funny. You're not. Oh, you're looking for something else, I guess. Okay. All right. So anyway, you can, if you want to look at the full text of this, you can see that this full text is unlocked. And I don't know about this one, but it ought to be available. So let's click on this one. The largemouth bass, how do you say that? Microptera salmonoids. Micropterus salmoides, I guess. Should have taken Latin. The largemouth bass impacts of a powerful freshwater fish predator outside of its native range. Oh, that sounds really cool. That'd be a good subject in my conservation course. The imperial largemouth bass goes around invading other people's environments. I think a lot of times it's the U.S. military that stocked largemouth bass in lakes wherever there are military bases. So you get, like, I know that's the case in, like, in Japan and Southern Europe. Anyway, looks like a cool article. Fairly long article. Now, for those of you, let me see here. See if we can get a little larger screen here. All right. So let's look at the different parts of the article. Of course, you got an abstract. Abstract is just the first couple of paragraphs here. This is summary. What's so funny? Anyway, okay, so you got this, and what that abstract is it's a very, very accurate summary of the question of, the research question, maybe the case study, the area examined, the methodology, so how they went about trying to operationalize their research question, maybe hypotheses, data sources, and then they'll have their findings or the results and conclusions. And then the very last thing you'll usually see in an abstract, at least a scientific abstract, is sort of questions, other questions that this research has identified that need to be examined. So, the research process is never ending. And also here you got keywords, so that's an important one. If you found a really good source, it's always and you're trying to find more sources on the same topic, it's a good idea to have a notebook and just a piece of paper and list all of those different keywords that you run into. In this case, you've got an alien species, so it's a largemouth bass is an invading species, invasive. Invasion ecology is a term. So anyway, you can see some more information about the scientists involved in this particular paper. Also, since most scientific papers have more than one author, the first person listed is referred to as the lead author, and they get sort of the special credit, the top credit for the paper. This is actually looks like just two people, so they might both be senior researchers somewhere, just working together. Frequently, however, you have individual scientists and typically research assistants or postdoctoral researchers or graduate students who have worked with them in their lab or in field research, and they'll be listed as co-authors. But most importantly, the first author is referred to as a lead author or first author. In this case, probably my guess is that since they're alphabetized, Pereira, can't pronounce that, and Vitule, that's alphabetical, so they might not necessarily be identifying a lead author necessarily. But you'll see that sometimes you have like 17 authors on a paper, and the lead author is the boss, basically. So let's go on down here. We've got illustrations, we've got figures, and then we have like a discussion. So check all that out. And then at the very last part, you'll have references, or you'll have sources, or references cited, or whatever. And this is your bibliography. This is your set of sources, and this is something that a lot of students who are doing sort of first time research papers unfortunately don't pay enough attention to, because it's a very, very valuable piece of the paper. If you are searching for something like what do they call that disease that deer die of all the time? Blue tongue? What's it called? Chronic wasting disease, CWD. So if you're looking for something like that, you can. It pays off just to read through the titles on the sources, and you'll be able to find. So, maybe you're interested in maybe what the largemouth bass has done to lakes in like Guatemala or Latin America in general. And you can read through some of these, and you'll be able to, maybe spot a few articles. Well, the articles themselves are kind of like clues in a puzzle. The puzzle being your research question or the building a bibliography for your own paper. And there's nothing at all wrong with going through and identifying those sources in other papers and then utilizing those. Although, just keep in mind that most of the time, if you've got an article here that's like 2019, of course, the most recent article you're going to find is probably from 2018 or maybe 2019, but it's going to be a little bit later. So, but bibliographies are always very, very useful. All right, let's look at some other sources, some other ways of doing this. Let's do an advanced search, and this time let's look for a humanities topic. And I'm going to go back to, just sort of backtrack and go back. To do that, let's go to databases. And this time I want to use JSTOR, and I want to find an article on something relating to Oklahoma, the history of Oklahoma. So I'll look for, let's do an advanced search. Always try to do an advanced search if you can. And when you run into something like JSTOR, you'll notice that it recognizes that you're accessing this through the Oklahoma State University Library. So that's good. If you can't just access JSTOR if you Google JSTOR, but then you got to log in somewhere, or you got to provide credentials and go through the library anyway. So let's look for some keywords, and let's look for something like cattle. Cattle. This will be something in the. Let's look for something in the title, and then maybe a second. We'll say something about the Chickasaws. Chickasaw Nation, and we can say look for that anywhere. And then content I can access. I want just content I can access through the library. And let's look for articles. Let's look for books, research reports, and whatever your favorite language is. And let's just say from 1955 to present. Say 21. And you can filter all kinds of stuff. You can look for different journals within these different fields, but I wouldn't bother with that. You're just going to limit your choices. And let's just go submit the advanced search, see what we got. We got 4 results. So here's a journal article from Agricultural History, which is one of my favorite journals, in fact, and Native Americans, the Market Revolution and Culture Change, the Choctaw Cattle Economy, which also probably talks about the Chickasaws. You can download the PDF immediately right there. This also gives you the abstract, or at least part of the abstract. Cattle Raisers in the Old Southwest Reinterpretation by John D.W. Geiss. That's in the Western Historical Quarterly, which is a national, very well-known journal for American history. So we got some stuff there. Here's something on the blizzard of 1886 and its effects on the range cattle industry in the Southern Plains by David Wheeler. And antebellum cattle herding in the Indian Territory, one of my favorite all-time articles by Michael F. Duran, a geographer, and this is in the Geographical Review from way back in 1976. One of the things that got me started on this whole topic. All right, so there we go. Yeah, nobody cares. I know. I was just bragging. I was kind of bragging right there, so sorry. But anyway, it's one of my favorite topics. Okay, so we'll leave it at that, and everybody knows how to do this now. So have a great day. enjoy your rest of the afternoon.